What's going on, guys?
What's up, Kurt?
How's it going, man?
Can you put into context what this means to you?
Oh man, this means the world. It means everything. I've worked so hard for so many years. I literally made my debut in the UFC back in 2013, and I've had a heck of a lot of fights from then to now, and to come back the way I did at 36 years old, not knowing if I was gonna find a good home to fight at. Didn't fight for 2 years, and then on the verge of just saying, hey, maybe I'm just gonna hang this up, retire, finish, keep coaching my kids, keep coaching my students in my gym, and I got professional fighters, amateur fighters that I coach back home, and then boom, I got the call for the Ultimate Fighter, and here we are.
Yeah, and that submission win was quite nice. Can you talk us through the sequence?
Yeah, like I said out there, man, I am a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Been a black belt for almost 5 years now, and I train jiu-jitsu every day. That's primarily my training art. Yeah, I strike, I knock a lot of guys out, I stand, I prefer to stand up, but when the fight hits the ground, whether I could wrestle or not, I'm always dangerous. And and to go out there and get a submission like that, honestly, I don't know if Austin's ever been finished before. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the first time him being finished, and then I did it by submission, so I'm happy with that.
And then in your post-fight interview, you call out Paddy Pimblett. Talk to us about that call out. Why specifically Paddy Pimblett? What is it about him that you want to fight him?
Yeah, man, he's got a name. He's a rising star. But reality is, I was in the UFC long before that guy, right? And he comes in, and I feel like the UFC kind of butters him a little bit, kind of gives him some easy fights. But he's never fought somebody with the experience that I have. He's never fought somebody that's just did what I did on the Ultimate Fighter show, and it's not just a regular Ultimate Fighter show, right? This was the Ultimate Fighter show where we had guys that were really, really good, but may have got cut in the UFC, and then boom, I had to go through a murderous row of guys in the house, and that's fighting twice in 10 days, and then preparing for this fight tonight. So, and I feel like every guy that I fought and beat in the house is better than Paddy. So why not give me a big fight against one of the biggest rising stars in the world?
And outside of wanting to fight Paddy, what are your overall goals? Because you are 36. I'm assuming, or correct me if I'm wrong, it's like all gas, no brakes from this point on, right? Like you want to get things done in the UFC as quickly as possible, I'm assuming. Yeah,
absolutely. Like you said, all gas, no brakes. I'm not getting any younger. But I'm not satisfied just being back here in the UFC. I want to be here. I want to make a legit run. I think I could do that. I want to get a number beside my name, and I want to keep on going. I want to keep on fighting some of the best guys in the world. I want to keep testing myself, and always the ultimate goal is to be UFC World Champion.
Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kurt, over here. Did you see Conor McGregor's tweets about the result? I know he wasn't here tonight, but he was clearly watching. Did you see what he had to say?
No, I have not, actually.
Essentially, he's calling for the immediate rematch with Lee Hammond. He feels that he was saying you got slapped around in that fight. I think he called, I'm looking at it here, he said you were smacked around like an episode of Bum Fights.
Come on, guy. Come on, Conor, man. You seem like you was one of my biggest fans on the show. Literally, numerous times he said I was the guy that their team picked to win the show, and shit, here I am. They were right. But, oh man, you never know. You never know what the future holds. I know Lee got me off of a 2-year layoff, and I still come back and beat him. The win's a win. Doesn't matter how you do it. And not only did I beat him, I finished him. And keep in mind, that was only a 2-round fight. Get me in a 3-round fight, man. Come on. Like, you got to have a gas tank, and Lee don't have that.
Have you any interest in maybe doing it again with Lee, or you kind of looking forward now?
Nah, give me Paddy. I already beat Lee.
Kurt, right here in front.
Yep.
You said, on the show that you told your family and your children that you weren't coming back without this victory, that you were going to win the whole thing. You're a man of your word. Have you got to talk to your family already, and what are they saying to you?
Man, I got my family here. They was right in the tunnel as I walked out, and I haven't literally got to talk to them, but I got to walk by, hold the trophy up. But no, it's awesome. It feels good to keep a promise that you make, and nothing's guaranteed. That's the hard part. I can promise everybody in the world that I'm gonna pick up a victory, but some things you just can't promise, and a fight's a game of inches, and you never know what's gonna happen. And even going into tonight, I told myself, I said, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to soak this all up, and no matter what, I knew I'd be able to go home to my family. But now I get to keep my promise and bring them home the Ultimate Fighter trophy.
During media day, you kind of told us that you were facing other guys in the house, and you would purposely almost bait guys into thinking you were weaker in certain areas. He came out wrestling very heavy. Was that the area that you were trying to pretend that you weren't that good at?
For sure. I mean, but come on. It's hard to say, and I don't think it's that I'm not a good wrestler. It's that I'm comfortable on my back. And as you see tonight, that's why I'm comfortable on my back sometimes. And you can see the Lee Hammond fight. I'm comfortable on my back. Yes, it's got me in trouble a lot, but ultimately, I mean, I got like 11 submission wins now. I've only, not finished 3 fights that I've won in my whole career. So I wouldn't even call it necessarily a weak part. It's just always something I need to work on, because, I mean, a lot of guys coming in today, they don't always come to fight. They always come to maybe hold you down a point fight. And I'm not a point fighter. I'm always going in. I'm always looking for the finish. So regardless whether I'm on the feet, on my back, or even on top of the guy, I'm trying to finish the fight.
And my last question for you is, that's 2 out of 3 fights now in this tournament that you got down early, but then you came on strong as you got later in the fight. I think it's almost reflective of your career now that you're late, the later ages of most people's career. Now you're looking better than ever. Just reflect on that. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, I've always been a tough guy. I've always been a guy that's very hard to finish. I think I've only been finished twice in my whole career, and that's out of like 30 fights. So, I mean, that says a lot. And I don't know, man. It's just that, sometimes I question myself, how long can I keep going? And I really feel that I'm in my prime, and I'm just getting better and better. And yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. I have to go back and watch the fight, but I might have been down a little bit. But I didn't feel like it was significantly. I thought that, he put me down. And really, I was just, when he first put me down, I just wanted to stay a little bit calm, let him work a little bit. I knew, and I trained so hard to be able to get back up if he put me down. And just thinking of it right now, I feel like I did a good job of that.
Hey, Kurt, right here. Congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I know you and Austin were pretty close in the house. I'm just wondering, did he have anything to say after the win to you in the octagon?
No, just the mutual respect, man. He told me I deserve it, which, of course, I think he deserved it too. And if there was anybody in the world I was going to lose to, of course I would have been mad, but I would have been happy for Austin too. But no, man, he's such a nice guy, and I really felt that we're very similar type guys. We're very much alike, both humble, both respectful, and I don't know, man. I'm sure we'll be friends probably forever.
And do you see him still maybe getting a contract sometime soon?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I don't see how you can't. Man, he's a monster. He's a beast. He's been in UFC for a while. He's got a lot of UFC wins. I mean, he deserves to be here, just like everybody else in the house. Thank you.
Kurt, far left, or your left side. Just marveling at the timing. It seemed like after the last fight in UFC in 2019, you'd kind of moved on from the UFC. You were focused on, you said, your students, focused on coaching. It's funny, this is when this comes, right? You wanted it so badly for so long. It just, to me, the timing's remarkable. Once you'd moved on is when you got that perfect opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. But keep in mind, guys, like, I literally train 5 days a week. Sometimes I don't always train on the weekends, but me and my wife, we own 2 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms. We have a lot of students. I have a lot of pro fighters, a lot of amateur fighters that I coach, and that's what I do outside of actually fighting in the UFC. So I live in the gym. I'm in the gym every day. So whenever they send me the email saying, hey, we got you an Ultimate Fighter tryout or opportunity, I'm like, well, I never think about it, but, and I got some teammates say, hey, look, see where it goes, take it. So I'm like, all right, let's take it. So it wasn't like I wasn't in shape. It wasn't like I just sat around and don't train unless a fight comes. I train in 5 days a week at least, and every day with my students.
And it's hard to put it in perspective right now for you. You just won the fight, but the Jason win, what you did against Austin, that's a pretty remarkable run in TUF.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. This wasn't, to me, it wasn't like your regular episode of TUF. Everybody in the house belonged to be in the house. They was in the house for a reason. The UFC and ESPN, they did that show like they did for a reason, because there wasn't nobody in the house that didn't deserve to be there. There wasn't a bunch of guys just going in the house to get on TV or get drunk and act up. Everybody in the house was truly professional, whether there was a prospect or there was a vet. So I think everybody there was very high level, all UFC level, and to come out of this one victorious, man, I think that speaks a lot by itself. Thank you. Good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.